Lesson 5.2 Ask the Experts. In this lesson, we're going to see question tags which are very helpful for seeking confirmation in a conversation, and they add a lot of color to your English. The vocabulary will be related to question formation and, functionally speaking, confirming information, and this is basically one of the main functions of question tags. First activity, you have to match the photographs on the right to the question here. Is it possible to surf a tidal wave? Does cheese really give you nightmares? Why are sumo wrestlers so fat? Do any wasps make honey? Is there any easy way to prove the earth is round? Why do onions make you cry? So what you need to do is match them, like 1 will be matched to A, okay? And you just need to fill in the letter in the platform. The second activity is related to vocabulary, related to questions. You're supposed to match a pair of words or verbs, more particularly verbs, from the box with the situation. And you've got an example in number 1. Someone tells you something. You're not sure you agree. So you're questioning that something, you're wondering if it's true or not, so that's why you use those 2 verbs. Okay, in the next activity, it says 5 of the verbs above are also nouns, and you have to write which ones in the order of appearance. Wonder is a verb and a noun. That will be the example. But you have also the next one in the platform is debate. Okay, so you have to fill it in with the rest that are also nouns. Now, in 2C, it says, look at all the verbs again and write their noun forms. So they have the same root. Okay, for instance, response is the noun derived from respond, or from discuss you get discussion. Okay, so you will have to do the same for respond, investigate, and inquire. In the next one, in 2D, it says underline, but in the platform, rather than underlining, you will simply write the correct alternative to complete the sentences. Then the first one is done for you in the platform. The police officer continued his investigation into the robbery. Okay, so you would write investigation there. In the others, you have response, look into, reply, discuss, debate, or wonder, research, investigate, reply, inquire, question, respond, or finally inquiry, debate, or look. Next, we'll move to the next page, page number 60. Here you've got a listening activity first of all. The first part is a discussion, so you're not supposed to do this in the platform. And what we need to do is the B part of the activity. It says, read a review of a book about questions children ask. How did the author get the idea for the book? So you will have to answer this question with a fill in the gaps activity. And after you obviously read this text here. Then we've got activity 4A, in which you will actually listen by clicking here. You will listen to an audio file, and then you would have to number the questions below in the order you hear them. Okay, so since, for instance, this one, how many hairs are there on the human head, is the second one. In the platform you will see number 2. Okay, if this is number 3, you will write number 3. If this was number 5, you would write number 5, and so on. So in other words, you just write numbers 1, 5, 4, and 3, because 2 is the example done for you. Then you will do 5A on your own. Listen to some people trying to answer the questions in the previous activity. These questions, like what happens when your plane flies over a volcano. And then you are going to complete the notes here. So you've got, for instance, ships round windows. Why are they round? And they are stronger. They are stronger. So in the rest, you just need one word in each gap. Okay. The next activity, 6A, says complete questions 1 to 6, and then look at the audio script on page 168 to check if they are right or not. Okay, so what you need to do is complete them with the auxiliaries, right? Round windows are stronger, aren't they? Remember that question tags, you use the root of the verb or the verb and put it in negative if it's positive, and vice versa. Okay, and you'll have to do the same in these gaps here from 1 to 6. And next are actually the rules for the question tags. Let's have a look at them. The rules are these. Use question tags when you're looking for confirmation of the information you're giving or asking. How to form a question tag? You repeat the auxiliary verb like we said. So in some verbs we will use do or does for the present, on did for the past, obviously. And then we would use will or won't for the future. Okay? Then after the auxiliary verb you use the pronoun. Wow, yes. You are beautiful, aren't you? So you are, aren't you? Okay? Then if the sentence is positive, the question tag is negative, and vice versa. Those are the rules like we mentioned before. Now let's go to page 136 to the language bank, where you've got the rules also here and formation. Okay, so you have a positive verb plus a negative tag, or a negative verb plus a positive tag. So if the sentence is negative, like here, the question tag is positive. If the sentence is positive, like here, the question tag is negative. Okay? If you think carefully, we do the same in Spanish or very similar, because this is like our no. For instance, imagine this sentence. ¿Tú tienes 20 años? No. That no means no tienes 20 años. So you're looking for confirmation in that sentence. The only thing is that in English, you really need to use this grammar. It's not possible to say you're 20. No, that's a very typical mistake by Spanish people, Spanish learners of English in general. Okay? So here, have a look at this one. This is in the past. They came. So we use the auxiliary in the past. This one is the present perfect. You have lost it, or you've lost it. Well, we use the part that you use for the auxiliary, which is have. And then in the negative, because this is positive. If you use the future, you use the part that is auxiliary. Will. I will be. Won't I? Okay, so that's the whole idea. When do we use the question tags? To check for information, to confirm that it's true, to sound less direct, it's more polite. if we are sure the information, the intonation is falling, you're coming tomorrow, aren't you? If you say that you sound very, very much asking that rather than asking for confirmation. Now, if you say you're coming tomorrow, aren't you? Then you're looking for confirmation, okay? And you don't really know. You always expect the answer to be true or yes, but you are less sure if the intonation is rising. Okay, after you do that, after you look at that on your own, at your own pace, then you've got this one activity matching parts of a sentence with their question tag. Very easy. Clive was an engineer. This is was. So the question tag is going to be wasn't. So here, wasn't he. He is the pronoun for Clive, yes. Okay, so that's the idea. In the second one, it says find and correct the mistakes. Well, the solution is given to you in the platform. You don't really need to check it, but it's a good idea to do it. You weren't happy, weren't you? Have a look at this. You either change this weren't or this weren't because they are both negative. Okay, I would say you were happy, weren't you? Or you could say the other way around. You weren't happy, were you? Okay, but one has to be positive and the other one has to be negative. Which one? It's up to you, but they mean different things also. Then let's go back to page 60 again. And there you've got activity 7, which is also practicing the question tags. Again, look at the statements below and complete the question tags. You're Italian, aren't you? You are positive, turns into aren't in negative. You turns into you. You aren't a doctor, aren't is negative, turns into positive. You is reflected or mirrored here. Are you? So you have to do the same for the others. As before, these are just examples of falling intonation when the speaker is sure about the answer, and rising intonation when the speaker is not so sure about the answer. It's a good idea to listen to this a few times. Then you'll have to do part B, in which you will listen to the questions from exercise 7 and write the number of the questions in which the speaker is sure about the answer. Okay, so you just have to write numbers. The first one, for instance, number 1, he's sure about the answer because of the intonation. Activity 9, we may do it in class. In activity 10A, you will read this brief text and answer the question using a fill in the gap activity. In the B part of activity 10, you have to find other adjectives. For instance, with these suffix here, if, we've got creative. So you would write creative. The missing words in here, etc. In the next activity, number 11, it says complete the text in which you have to add suffixes to the words in brackets. For instance, the city of Detroit, USA, was famous for its valuable car industry. Activity 12A is very similar, so you have to add the suffix, and the first one is done for you. Find someone who has a peaceful hobby. So you're going to use suffixes here. And finally, you've got the vocabulary bank activity on page 152. There you go to word building, and you've got a table with different suffixes added to different words, and you've got to cover this table with your hand maybe, or just don't look at it and do these. For instance, number 1, I think a bit of from competition in school is a good thing. And that will be the end of lesson 5.2.